Good evening to all students and professionals who are with us right now. So this night we are live again for another learning event here in Autodesk Community Philippines and CAD Community Asia. Yeah, before we begin, so I want to invite all of our viewers here. So please join our YouTube channel. So we are actually live in different platforms. We are live here in our YouTube channel, Autodesk Community Philippines. So please do subscribe so that you will be notified of our upcoming events like this. And here in Facebook Autodesk Community, we are also live here. The same with CAD Community Asia. A special announcement for our professionals and also for our students who would also want to have the chance to use the licensed Revit. So we are also here in Digital Creatives Learning. So here in Digital Creatives Learning, we have here technical courses. We have here soft skill courses and Adobe courses. So technically, our session for this night will be under technical courses here in our Revit. All right. So uh, paste paste in the comment section the registration link for our special registration um, for those professional and students who want to have the chance to use the license or non-educational license of Revit. All right. For the general registration, please refer to uh, the QR code in our event page. And for our special registration, please refer to our comment section. So we will now dive in and start our session, day one for today.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is nice to be here with you guys who are watching us using different online platforms. And now, let us, let us all welcome to our online learning event entitled Revit Families Mastery, Streamlining Design Workflows, a live training designed to empower architects, engineers, and design professionals with the knowledge and skills needed to create, optimize, and revolutionize design workflow. I'm Jerickson G. Labsan. It is such an honor to be your host for today's event. And now, let's all welcome a building information modeling advocate, Revit enthusiast with more than 15 years of digital engineering experience, graduated from Polytechnic University of the Philippines with bachelor's degree in architecture with an award of being top-notcher in design thesis. Our guest, our instructor, our speaker for today's learning event, Mr. Hanso Saiko. Magandang buhay po, sir.
Yes, good evening, Jerick.
I have question po ready na here. Since you will tackle po about Revit, can you give us some trivia po about Revit po, sir?
Okay, so Revit, I think since I started my career in architecture, kasabay ko na siya halos when it comes to Revit here in the Philippines for almost 15 years. I remember the time na in-introduce sa amin first time when I was working with an IT company. So it started when I was there. Um, it's a new product in 2005 here. So, ganun na siya katagal. And ganun na rin ako katagal maging user ng Revit. So, yun ang isa sa mga trivia wherein when we started doing it from scratch. So, I don't know if you remember those CDs, yung CD pa. You have to have that para ma-install mo sa computer mo. So ngayon, it's just a shared link para ma-download mo lang siya and then you can use it.
Yes po.
So you have to have those before. So that's the fun part. Dahil hindi mo siya pwedeng makuha kung saan-saan. Um, well, yun yung isa sa mga trivia ko for this. So we are one of the um, technical person who used and promote Revit in 2005 then. Kaya yun yung start ko ng paggamit ng software.
Can you share what's interesting about Revit, sir, for those who have knowledge about it?
Um, it is very much interesting kasi if kung babalikan mo yung 2005 where it started from then till now, that's been changed. It's been adopting. It was just a software for architects before, and it is now being used for a lot of trades, mechanical, structural, MEP, and so on. And then they have BIM, they have BIM 360. So it is a collaborative environment now wherein everyone in the technical field, even the non-technical person can access files coming from Revit, and then we can collaborate na sa all around the workflow of construction. Even you're not a technical person, you can use the tool, the application wherein Autodesk has. Kaya it is it's a nice it's a nice application wherein you can streamline and work with other trades collaboratively. It's already a cycle for the construction and for the sa non-construction company for implementation and facility management. So lahat yun will revolve around what Revit or the model has started. So that's how important it is.
Okay. And my last question po, as of now. Parang very personal question naman po. Kasi upon
Okay.
checking po your profile, sir, you have
Mhm.
different skills and experience po, including certifications and other accomplishments. Example
Mhm.
po is yung mga Lumion Proficient, Autodesk Proficient, certified, Revit certified, yung mga ganun po.
Mhm.
Sir Psycho, what keeps you going po? Do you have rituals po or prayers that you want to share or reveal live po?
Um, well, you never stop. You shouldn't stop learning. Yun talaga ang ano. For me, yun yung aking foundation sa profession. You never stop learning kasi if I stop learning and then I will be stagnant and then hindi mo magagamit yung pinagkaloob sa'yo kung anong you're working right now, you have to improve. You will not stop learning, adding and adding and adding till you cannot stop. You don't stop. Ganun lang talaga. You don't stop. You start dahan-dahan and then you learn, then another step until you find where you are and you find where you are good at. Kasi there's a lot of path na pwede mong umpisahan eh. Kasi I started um, as a junior architect doing drafting, and then as time goes on, you will learn kung saan ka pupunta. Someone or somebody on yung mga classmate ko there, they went far from mga kasabay kong estudyante. They're now they own the company. They are directors. They own corporation. Uh, they are on top of their fields, engineering, architecture. So iba-iba kami ng direction. So you will find it and then just go learn. Ganun talaga.
Yes po. Okay, noted naman po lahat yan, sir. I'm very amazed lang po kasi and inspired while checking your papers po. Well, life is truly continual process po talaga. More on that later for question and answer portion. The floor is
Mhm.
yours na po, sir. And the aim of this online event will start now. Go
Okay,
ahead po.
sige. So this is Revit Families Mastery in Streamlining Design Workflow. So I am Hanson Psycho. I'm a AEC technical trainer, BIM implementation specialist, and so in my 15 years of experience doing BIM, especially using the tool Revit, and then this course for this particular course, we will tackle more on the design workflows, streamlining design workflow, which is to empower architects, engineers, design professionals with the knowledge and skills needed to optimize Revit families, revolutionizing their design workflows. In this training, the participant will delve in the intricacies of Revit families. So we will tackle that one by one through the combination of hands-on exercises, which you can follow, or you can follow me along the process, and to enhance the project efficiency through the combination of our exercises, guidance, um, and we can harness the full potential of Revit families to create customizable building component. We can start in our modules. So this is day one. I will go through these slides, and then after that, I can show you the hands-on. Um, so understanding the importance of Revit families in BIM. Number two is overview the key concept and terminology related to families, exploring the benefit of streamlining design workflow to optimizing families. And then we'll tackle to the fundamentals of family creation and parametric modelings. So we will navigate the Revit Family Editor interface, or what you are showing in your maybe if you already open your Revit in your computer, you can see the Family Editor and the interface. We can do the creating basic parametric families using reference planes and dimension, managing and organizing family for efficient family control. The third module is establishing relationship and flexibility in families. So in here we will be understanding the creation of family constraints, utilizing the formulas and conditional statement to drive family behavior, exploring advanced technique, and establishing flexibility and adaptable families. We will learn more that when we are going to the software, pag nasa software na tayo. And on our day two, which is tomorrow, creating nested families and incorporating 3D models. So we will work also in 3D modelings and the ins and outs of 3D modeling, working with nested family to enhance component hierarchies, importing and utilizing 3D models within the families, optimizing nested families for efficient and accurate design variations. So we'll do some options and variations, and not just one model, but added model in the families as well. Module 5 is integrating families with schedules and tagging systems. So we will tag, it is what we can call the naming conventions and tags, leaders, creating custom schedule for tags and families. That is for schedule, linking family parameter to schedule for automatic updates, applying tags to families to enhance documentation and information. So we'll add more information on our models once we created those family models. Day to module 4, creating nested families and incorporating 3D models, working with nested families to enhance component hierarchies, importing models, integrating family schedule, applying families, okay, module 5, and module 6, advanced automation techniques with formulas and shared from parameters, harnessing and power of formulas. So we have some formulas there, their behavior, leveraging shared parameters to promote consistency and data exchange, exploring practical examples, advanced automation, and family creations. And on our last day, the best practices and efficient management and collaboration strategies for organizing the large family libraries, leveraging groupings and type of family usage, collaboration with team members, and sharing families across projects. That's our third. And hands-on project workflow optimization, applying learning techniques, hands-on scenarios, streamlining design workflow, optimizing project efficiency, troubleshooting common issues and challenges in family creations. So that's the module summary. So for this, we can start with our agenda for today for our lecture. So we will start with the library and the standards, how we can plan our families, the templates. So if you have already have downloaded the templates, I think I have shared a file called generic model that RVT RTE or R. So that's a generic model template that we can use to start our work, our lecture, and then we will deal with templates, reference plane, parameters, geometry, isa-isahin natin yan, and testing and Revit family types. So let's start with libraries and standards. Libraries and standards. What are libraries? So it is maybe it's a file that is located on a network location that a company using. So company library are with approved content, work progress directory for new content. These are technically these are some files or location that you can put in your work or in your uh, progress or even folders included materials and share parameters. So these are just a set of folder location that you can work on. We can work on depending on the setup of your company, where the library, when we say the library, it's a collection of files of Revit families, wherein it is located in such a way that it's arranged in such manner. So how will we do it? Sometimes we have some quality control. So most of the file, once we dealt with projects, it will have some different categories, different families. So quality control it's a must doing the standardization. So naming such is the naming, the subfolder category, the parameters, the family construction. So these are some of the things that can be um, can be set up sa doing the standardization. When we say family planning, this is not something out of the Department of Health. Um, it's just saying that we have to plan our families. So that is a Revit family. So let's start with the plan. So what it is, what is the usage, and the creation. So who will use it? How should it look? How the model should look? Is it a drawing? What data is needed? So we have to take note on the use and creation. How can we do that? What control is needed? What is the advanced feature? It has calculation, it is nesting, or is it host? And then look up. So is something that an Excel can do, that look up on some data on a family to use it, for example, which diameter of pipe can be used in a certain on a certain pipe or a certain use. So that's a sample of a lookup parameter. We will deal with that later. And then templates. So if you already have the templates that I downloaded, you can open it, and maybe I can show you. And after this, tapusin ko lang muna, and then many feature only exist in the correct template. So depending on the use of a certain template, there are template for furnitures, for site, for hosted templates such as face, floor, ceiling. So there is a lot of template can be found once you install Revit. Okay, let's do creating families. So I have some step here that or you can just screenshot if you have. We'll be using these steps in our creation. So number one is choose template. Number two is reference planes. Number three is dimensions and parameters. Number four is geometry, test flex. So this is where we have a first test on what we are doing. Number five is geometry. Number six is another test run. Seven is what type or how many types it is or there is. And then eight is quality control. So you have to take note of that. And let's start with the reference plane. So in the first, if you are in Revit and this is your first time, you will see the welcome screen for Revit. And as you can see, if you're opening the model, I'm using Revit 2019. And sa una pa lang, you can see this is the screen. And if you're opening a project file, you just click open. If you're creating a family, you can have this as you can click create a Revit family file. So you can just create new. If you have your file with you, the one that I have sent, it is supposed to be on your computer. Hindi ko alam kung saan nyo nilagay, but in my case, I have paste it on my OneDrive. It should be the same. I already shared you this metric generic model. And I will just open that file. So upon opening the file, so kung babalikan ko yung aking step, I choose the template. So So I started the step one, choose the template, and the template is that Revit family generic template. And it will show this cross line, which is we call a reference plane. So this is a reference plane for the center, and this is the center front and back. This is the center left and right. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Revit family, so we are on the Revit family creation mode. And this is not a Revit project, but we are working with Revit family now. And for the Revit families, as you can see, we have ayan yung mga icons dyan. These are the creations icon tabs. So these are for the form group, the extrusion, blend, revolve, sweep, blends. So these are creation for solids and some model lines, components, 3D text is model text, and some modeling grouping controls. These are connectors for electrical, mechanical ducts, pipes, cables, conduits for the MEPs. And these are for datum, which is the reference line, the planes, and work planes. On the insert tab, ando dito yung mga links. If you are importing some CAD links, and the supported CAD links, if I'm going to click the CAD, these are the supported CAD file. You can use DWG, DXF, DGN files, ACSAT file, SketchUp file, Rhino 3D file. So these are the available 3D content or 3D or 2D CAD models that you can insert in a Revit family creation file. So you can insert some reference from here. And you can insert images for references. And you can also load other family types or groups. And you can load it into project if you have some open project that you can use. And you can load it and close the Revit family file that you're working. On the annotate, you can use some dimensions, some symbolic lines. This works for 3D 3D detailings, detail components, symbols, masking regions, or more like if you're familiar with CAD, these are like wipe out text, spellings, find a place, same, load into project and load close. So to views, there are 3D views, section views that they can generate out of here. Manage, we can manage materials from this, snaps, project standard, and these are some additional settings like line weights, etc. Add-ins, if you have some of the third-party add-ins you can install, it will be loaded in here. These are some additional add-ins that I have installed. Quantification, I don't use this much. In 2019, there's still some site designer. If you have the latest version of Revit, you will not see this. So these are plugins. I have some Lumion plugins. Sometimes I'm using Lumion for the visualization projects. Sometimes I'm loading Rhino on my work, and this modify if you're engaged on editing uh, some file, you will have this. So that is the interface. And on the left, actually, since the beginning of my Revit journey, hindi ko na siya tinanggal, but some people are putting this to the left. You can dock it on the left or the right or on the top. So I just find this much, I don't know, just familiarity that I am used to it na dito na siya ever since. Ibig sabihin, for 15 years, hindi ko siya tinanggal dito. Some other are using that. So it depends on your screen. If you have a bigger screen, maybe you can put it somewhere else, or it's up to you. So I use this as a tab for the family. So whatever things that I'm working, it means that this tab is active always. So if I'm not selecting anything from my model, it means that this property is for the view itself. And once I selected something here, you will see that the property belongs to the reference plane, which is the one that is selected and active. And on the left lower side, here is the project browser for family. It's just the um, current view that this family has, for example. So this one is selected. It means that I am on the floor plan reference level. So if I double click this one, now the active window is now on the reference level. That's a ceiling plan. If I double click the 3D view, so it's obviously the 3D model the 3D view that you are seeing. So there's some front, back, left, and right. So habang dumadami yung pinipindot mo, dumadami yung tabs here, and you can always go back on this, and you can also close that. So if you have some sheets that is loaded in here, you can see that. And if you have some other families in here, you will see. So currently, it's like we have some 1, 2, 3 families that is loaded inside this Revit family creation. So it depends on the template. So we can modify the template, we can remove that, or we can load some families that we need. Or right now it is just a blank canvas, so we can start working with this. So now we establish which family type that we have now, the reference plane. So currently we have two. So we start from template, and we have established the reference plane. So I can just add another reference plane. So what I'm trying to do is to create a basic shape, and it's just a box. So use the correct family, and then before we can do that, um, let's start with the plan. So the plan is what it is. So I will just want to create a box, and how I'm going to use it. The box with height, syempre, length, width, and height, and how it should look like. It will be look like a box, of course. So drawing, it will be a square. It can be a rectangle, and what data is needed. So the data needed for this is like I need a box for with the length, width, height, and data needed is of course that length, width, and height. Um, so we need some control parameters, calculation, nesting objects. So yun yung kailangan natin. Kailangan natin length, width, and height to create a box. So I will just go back to my Revit, and what I want to do is to create another reference plane, because since this is just I cross, I need to have some other reference. So I will just need to put some reference plane here. So ito from the create, I can just use a reference plane for this one left side and another one here on the right side. So wala pa naman siyang, we don't have any more dimension yet. I will just create this part and another reference plane in here. So just to create like a 6 lines, 3 lines in vertical and 3 lines horizontal. Actually, it's just 2 lines kasi meron na silang dalawa. So I just create one to the left, right, one to the top, and one to the bottom. So it will be, all in all, it will be 6 reference lines. So what I'm establishing here now is a reference line that we can have to create this internal box. If you can imagine these lines, this will be a reference for our box. The next is I will add some dimension on this. Later I explain kung bakit. So I will just click the annotate and then aligned. I will choose this, click this and this, and click on the blank area so you can close the dimension. And while you are seeing this, I can just toggle this and click para maging equal siya. So it doesn't matter kung anong size yan, basta once mo i-click ito, it will be equal. So by default, maglalagay lang siya ng EQ, EQ. And then I will do the same dito sa horizontal lines here. I will start with this and this and another one here, and I will just click on the blank space. And once may nakita ko yung EQ, I'll just click this equal para mag-equal yung dimension. So it will be parang nag-snap siya sa gitna kasi i-move niya yung dimension equally from the center. So you will have yan yung 4 equal side or 2 equal side. So it means that if I move one of this if I will click and drag this one of the dimension, mapapansin nyo, it will be always equal. Yan, on the center. I would like to establish another dimension. So this time I'm clicking the annotation and another align dimension starting from this side all the way to the edge of that line, and kiklik ko lang ulit sa blank space. Again, same thing with this and this. Kiklik ko lang sa blank space. Right now, meron siyang 1520. So this is in millimeter, 1480. So these are in millimeters. So this was equal. So equal, ibig sabihin 140 divided by 2. So yun yung sagot nitong equal na yan. So I will assign this as a, we can call this length, and we can call this the width. So right now we're trying to assign this parameter. So we can call this a parametric model. It means that it can drive a number. We can put a number in here, wherein whenever we change that parameter, also the model will change. So to do that, I'm going to assign this dimension to a label. So I just for the start, we can click the dimension, and if you can see this in the modify tab, there is a label nakalagay. It's none for this time, but we would like to assign a parameter. So we are putting a specific identity for this dimension, and we will create a parameter. And once I click those, I will see that this will be a family parameter with the dimension, and I can just name this as length. Just say length. So we can leave this at ease. So it will be ano the group parameter. Pakita kung nasaan siya. It will be on the dimension muna. The type, it's lock, it's common. But we would like to place this under the dimension parameter. It has a lot of things in here, but we prefer muna sa dimension. It can be changed depende sa paggamit or kung anong group, but we'll just stick it in here. Group parameter under dimension, and then I will click OK. It will now be a length parameter. So meron siyang nakalagay dito. It will be a length parameter now at 150. I will show you later kung ano niyan, anong purpose niyan. And then the next thing is I'm going to assign this naman. Click ko again itong modify dimension. Under the label, I will click this, and I will say this is the width. So same family parameters. Still, ano lang yan, as is. Click ko lang OK. Okay, so yeah, nag-assign na siya for width and length. So, okay, so we can do the testing now. So just to do the testing is either we can just hilahin ko to, and then it will just adjust. Ganyan. So it means na pag nag-adjust siya at hinila ko, it means that it is okay. Balikan natin yung part na wherein we have to test our dimension. So let's start by clicking the property. So when we click these properties here, as you can see, meron siyang sinasabi, family types allows you to enter parameter values for existing family types and parameters to the family, or create new types within the family. In one family, there is multiple family types, which is we call the types, represented by different sizes or variation of the same family. So nagkakaroon siya ng sub-families or subtypes. So if I'm going to click this, as you can see, ito yung groups, family groups kanina na sinelect natin, which is the dimension. Now we have, I will just put it on this side just to verify. We have the length, which is 1980, na tama. And then we have the width, which is the 1680. So if I'm going to change this into 1000 and apply, so to verify kung tama yung aking ginawa. So once in-apply ko, nag-change yan, and then nag-change eto, it means that my my parameter is correct. Na-verify ko na siya. And then for the width, kung ilalagay ko naman ay, let's say, natin 2,000. And in-apply ko siya. And then this would change into 2,000. It means that it's obviously a correct parameter, which is I see that wala akong nakitang problema. Nagpalit siya, nag-change siya. If I'm going to check it again, if I see, ginawa ko siyang 1,500, ginawa ko siyang 2,500, at nagbabago siya. As long as nagbabago, and this is consistent, and walang tumatapon, it means that we are good. So, lagay ko lang muna siya 1,000. So this is how we test the dimension, the parameter, kung nagbabago yan at nagbabago dito, and then we don't see any errors in here or any warning. So it means that we are okay, we are good. So after we test in our steps, let's do the geometry. So we're not adding any geometry yet. It's just a reference and dimension. Ngayon, let's add geometry. Geometry means we can put square, circle, any. For this, since our plan is to have a box, let's start with creating. So we'll go to create, and let's add this extrusion. So what is the form? On the form group, there is an extrusion. It means create a 3D solid by extruding a 2D shape profile. When you sketch a 2D shape, you use the basics of a 3D shape extruded between points, and an endpoint. So if you're using some 3D software before, like AutoCAD and some other SketchUp applications, so you will be familiar with the push and pull 3D extrusion. So this is the extrusion. I will just click this, and there is a status dito. I click to enter line start point. So under the modify create extrusion tab, you will be presented with the group here. We call it the draw. So we can just simply create a basic shape, which is a box. So sa reference level, if we're using on the floor plan, so if we're using the floor plan view, means that we're seeing on the top, it means like it should looks like a regular rectangle. So I can use the line, but mas prefer ko to use this rectangle. So it's just like click from this side. Once you hover here, you can hover on the nearest, but dahil naka-snap siya, it will snap on the intersection. You will see there is a intersection symbol, yung naka-X. Once you reach on that intersection symbol, just click that. So ito, hover ko lang, hindi ko pa siya kiniklik. So once I reach the intersection at nakita ko yung intersection line, I just click one and then click on the other side of that rectangle. It will create that rectangle in the magenta color, and then once I reach the other side of the rectangle, it will show another intersection. Once na nakikita ko na yan, I will just click this. So, hindi ko pa ina-end yung aking command. I'm still under the, makikita nyo, if this is still active, it means na nasa loob pa ako ng aking extrusion command. And you will notice na merong mga locks dyan. It means that Revit is asking, do you want to lock this foreside on this reference lines? Like Revit is asking, I have found this line. Do you want to lock it? I have found this line that is constrained on this part of the reference line. Do you want to lock it? So, ang reason is kaya natin siya ilalak is whenever we move the parameters width or length, kailangan susunod siya. That's the reason. So, for this reason, I will just hover my mouse on those locks, those constraints. So, itatapat ko lang siya and just click one. So, this means it's locked. This one is not. So, I will just click number 2. I will just click number 3. And this fourth side. So, all of these four sides of the rectangle, four sides of the rectangle are locked now. So, since it is locked, I will click the finish edit mode. It means that I'm finishing my extrusion. But you have to take note that there is an assigned constraint, which is the extrusion start. It's starting from 0, which means it will start from the reference level, and the extrusion end, which is the height of the box, which means that the extrusion will end at 250 mm. It means the height of the box is 250 mm. So we can change this, but we can change it later. I will just finish my box. So it means that I have now, once I click this, I am creating a 1000 mm by 1500 mm box with a height of 250 mm. Once I click this, so it's just like it looks like a rectangle on the elevation, but if I'm going to see it on the 3D view, you will just click it here in the family browser, project browser family 1, and if you double click the view one, we can see that I have this box. If I'm going to click that home, yan. So this is the box that I have created. Okay, so for this exercise, I can just, the one thing I forgot is to save it. Let's just save this now, bago po siya makalimutan. So I will just put it here on, I will just put it wherever you want, but let us make this a Revit Family tutorial. And let us say that this is the box tutorial. And again, there is an option. Minsan nagbabackup siya ng marami. I will just say, yeah, 3 is okay. Mamaya papaliwanag kung bakit 3. And I will save this on this folder on my document. You can save it on your folder as well. I'll just save it. Now, let's see. On my steps, I created the geometry. Now, let us flex, let us test the geometry that we have. Now, um, on my elevation, I would like to take note on that front elevation. Right now, nothing is controlling the height, but currently it has a 250 height, which is based on the extrusion start and extrusion end. But I would like to have a reference for the height. So to create another reference for the height, as we have done in the top view or on the reference level, we have created length and width. So for the height, I would like to have a reference to create another reference plane here on the front elevation. So I will just click the create, and the plane, I will just move it from the top or above this front view or this level. Now, if I'm going to, so this is a reference level, and if I'm going to click this, it will have this temporary dimension. So it should appear whenever you click that reference. It means that this is a temporary dimension. To make it a permanent dimension, I will just click this temporary dimension, make this temporary dimension permanent. So I'll just click this, and it will have a dimension. Or kung ayaw nyo naman, I can just delete this, and you can create from the annotate, and then you have to click this align, and then click this and this. It will do the same thing. Parehas lang yun. So now I created a dimension which indicate that this is the reference line. Wala pa siyang identity, but I will assign this reference line as a reference for the height of this box. So currently it is not yet locked, or it is not yet referred to any height. It's just referred to the width and the length, pero yung height wala pa. So the same thing that we have done on the length and the width, I will just click the dimension on the front elevation, and then on the label in the modify dimension here, we have the label dimension, and we have the create parameter again. I will just click this. As you can see, under the group parameter, under the dimension, it will be the same. And let us say that this is the height parameter. So this is the height. I will click OK. So now this is assigned to the height. So whenever I make changes on this, so the height dimension will change. Now, how can we assign this naman, this box to that height? So simply I can click the box, and if you can see this grip, yung top grip, I can just drag this all the way through that line. Can drag that blue grip on this reference line. As you can see, once it reaches on that reference line, nag-blue siya. And then once na nag-blue yan, it means that it's aligned. Bibitiwan ko yan, and then after ko mabitiwan, magkakaroon siya ng yun, padlock, indicating, and he's saying that, do you want to constrain this height to that reference line? So I will just say yes, lock this. So whenever I'm going to drag this, the changes in my height will change. Also, the box will change. So geometry, and then let's see how it flex. Let's test our model. So to test the model, punta lang ako sa 3D view. So this is the 3D view, or this is another icon for locating the 3D view. So just to test if my parameter is okay, I will inilalagay ko lang siya dito sa side just to have a space for this. So it's on the modify tab. You will see these family types again. So it will be the height is added now here. So if I change this to 1000, the height will change. If I change this to 500, apply. So that length is changed. So if the width is 900, those will change. So from here, there's a lot of possibility na pwede mo siyang magawa. It can be a table, can be a chair, can be a furniture, it can be a device. So there's a lot of possibility from this. Actually, this is it's the start of every model. It's a start of every furniture or device na pwede mo nang magawa. For example, what's the height of a table? So, for example, the height of the table is 900. It's an office table, and then maybe it's 800, the length, or no, 1200, and the width is like 800. So it can be presented as a table. So from here, doing the test, so yan na yung start ng modeling. And then we will add more and more of this. Now let us, so i-apply ko lang, and then, okay, because we already established the test. Now let's do some types. Okay, now can we do the types? So just to do the type, let's say, so we have the 1, 2, we have the 800, in the front we have the 900. Just to verify, we have the 1, 2, 800, 900. Okay. Now how can we add type into this? So to add type, for example, okay, there's a question that from Monsieur. Hello po sir, is it possible to add or remove constraint on existing object? Yes. Yes, you can. If you have some constraint, yes, you can add. It's simply like if you don't like to constrain this into this, I can just show you that whenever you have something in here and you don't want to, you see, may nakalagay dito once minove ko na siya. Do you want to remove? Yes, you can do that. And then you remove the constraint. So because it's part of the constraint, kaya nagwo-warning yung nagwo-warning si Revit because this is a part of the constraint. So whenever you want to remove an existing constraint, it will warn you na lalo na because the way this work is, whenever I change for example, the length, or I drag the length, since the length is driven by the since the object is driven by the or lock by the length, or these two equal, so susunod lang siya lagi. So that's the rule. But if I'm going to drag a piece of this, magwo-warning siya dahil it's a part of the constraint. So it means that if I'm moving this part only, it will tell me, Revit will tell me, this constraint is not possible. But to make it possible, you have to remove the constraint. You have to remove the thing that is lacking on that particular side. And then it will show you, so I can just expand this, it will show you some constraint that is not satisfied, which is those reference plane, the lines of sketches. If you can see this, this part of the constraint 1, the sketch wherein the box from the start is connected, and then another one is the dimension. It means that it will be affecting this dimension, and the extrusion, which is the extrusion coming from the box. And another error for this, it means that another side naman ang maapektuhan. So all of these 6 parts, so 1, 2, 3, so all of that will have an error. Kaya if I remove the constraint, it means that it will be no longer connected to that kasi i-move ko na yung constraint. So lahat yan ay this part will not be constrained, but only that part. It means that I can move this, but this will not follow. I mean, I can move this, that side, but when I move this now, it means that since this is not connected anymore, hindi na siya susunod doon. So that's the part wherein you have to consider, if you consider removing one constraint to another. So there's another question regarding this. Okay, this is good. Is there any difference of adding constraint to the property on the left and locking to a reference plane? So it means that the difference between the property and the reference plane. So the property actually, so this is the reference plane. These are the reference plane. So the reference plane doesn't have any connection on the property. It's just it's a guide. It's a locking guide for the dimension. What drives the dimension is so these are the dimensions. So what drives the dimension is that dimension is connected on the reference plane. It's like, okay, although hindi siya connected directly sa property, pero ang dimension ay naka-reference sa reference plane. It's like it's just a it's just like a helper na ini-establish natin that it will have a kumbaga parang kung sa trend it's like it's the rail na doon pupunta yung trend para hindi siya ma-derail. So that's the use of it. It's for reference. And also it's a reference for the geometry itself. So without the reference, the dimension will parang ano siya hindi siya maging effective, although it can be used diretso, kumbaga parang without reference. Okay, we can remove the reference and just go directly on the on the geometry itself. It can it's possible, pero it's not advisable kasi once you change something uh, in the in the geometry and it's changed at nawala yon, so magkakaroon siya ng error because the reference is always here. It's not showing on the project once you load it on your drawings, but it's a very useful tool kasi dito naglalak yung almost all of the geometry na it is driven by dimension, because I don't advise to reference the dimension to the object because sometimes model changes and model move, and kung wala siyang constraint, ayun, nagkakaroon siya ng more error. So if we're talking about the constraint for the extrusion start. So the extrusion is based on the start and end, of course. And then yung start ng extrusion, for example, kung napansin nyo, when creating an extrusion, I started it on the level wherein there is a work plane, which is yung pinaka-base na yung level is the reference level, which is this. And we started it kanina na nung wala pang height is just the 250 kung napansin nyo. So of course the extrusion has the start and end, so yun yung pinaka-height niya. But what we have just to control that is through defining a reference plane for the height, which is I can also we can change the name of this reference plane just to have some identity. So I can make this reference name as a reference height para lang bigyan ko siya ng pangalan. So all of this has a name. This one has a reference level, which means the starting levels of this object. So I have some reference like this. It's para maintindihan natin. So ito, from the start, we have the reference level center left and center right. So this is the reference level for that. And we have the center front and center back reference. This is just a name. At ito yung mga inilagay natin, which I didn't put any names on it. But these references are our helper to put the constraint on these dimensions, the width and the length. So generally that's what references are all about. So if I can show you what this reference is, I'm not sure if I can do that. So if I can, just to show you what are this reference level is, let me see if I can work on that. Yeah, if I can do the edit work plane. Okay. So if I'm doing this, selecting the object and edit the work plane, it means that I'm editing the work plane, which is the base of my box. And if I click the show, yeah, as you can see, that is the reference work plane um, for this box. And if I see that there is a reference level for the height, show, hindi siya makikita. It's supposed to show in here, pero hindi siya na-pick up ng. So those are the reference lines, reference plane. So there is a types in here. Since na okay na yung testing natin, we have the length, width, and the height. Now, to add the type families, so I will just create two type, or maybe small, medium, large type. If I'm going to click from the modify tab, there is also the property for the family types. Now let us create um, some types. So kung mapapansin nyo, there is a family type names. So these are the types. So currently it is gray out, and we have those three. Now let us create some types. So if I'm going to click this icon for the new type, let's see. Okay, let's have three types. So I would say box one. Let's say one 1 meter by 1 meter. Say 1 meter, 1 meter length with length 1 m, 1 meter by, that's the length, the width is 0.9, and then the height is 0.9. So this is the box one. Yeah, box 1 by 0.9 by 0.9. That's the box 1. So tutularin ko lang siya just to have the description right. So box 1 will be, that's the length. I will just arrange this length with height. So I will start with the length. I will just move this parameter up, length, and then the width up. So length with height. So I'll start with 1000 millimeter, and the width is 900 millimeter, and the height is the same. So I will apply this And this is what we call the box 1. Now for the box 2, I will create another one. So ngayon hindi na siya naka-grade out. For the box 2, I will create another type, which is box 2. Let's say the length is 2 meter by, width is 900 again, 9.9, and let's see, gawin natin length is 2 meters, 0.9, and then the height will be another 0.9. So mas mahaba, no? So box 2 will have the 2 meters, just to differ it from the other. Let's say the width is 1200. Let me just rename this, then width point. Apply. So I have now the 2 boxes. So I have one. I apply. So I have this one box, apply, and then another box, 2, apply. So mapansin nyo, meron na ako ngayong dalawang type. Let's add another one. Um, so box 3, say 3 meters by 2 meters by 800, 0.8, 0.8. Para lang may iba, 3 meters, then 2 meters, and then 800. That's box 3. So pag pinili natin and then apply, it will see that. We will see that. Box 2, then box 3. Let me just load it into a project. So to load it into project, save ko muna. And then if I have the project, kung naaalala nyo, if you have something like this on your, if you click that, if it is the first time, you will have those Revit Home. It says that you can click Control D. If you have that sample project, you can click it just to load that for the first time. It should load on your file. Actually, it's already on the default if you download the file for the first time. I will just go through it is a sample project from Revit, so I will just go to this very quick just to load this. So if I'm going to have the floor plan on level 1, and puntahan ko lang yung aking file dito, and sabihin ko, okay, file, I have to load you on that Revit project. So load into project, and I can load this box here. So ito na siya. And then, kung mapapansin nyo, this box has those 3 options. So if I'm going to use this one box or the box number 2 on the drawing or the box number 3, I have those options. It's a start. It can be a a bed, it can be an island kitchen cabinet, it can represent another table. So it's a start of doing the parameters. That's parametric. And then as we go on, we have our second session tomorrow, same time. Um, we will add details on this. For now, we can save this and I mean, we can save the the model. We can save this on our PC, and then tomorrow, once we come back, we will add details on this. Let's make this a say. Let's add some legs for the table, or maybe some other parameters that we can find interest. We can make this box interesting. So, ayun, we have some time for question and answer. Sige, if we have some question, you can throw it here and we can answer as much as we can siguro.
So let's see. Let's see sa ating comments section if meron pang natirang questions. Because along the way, Sir Hanson is actually answering the questions. So baka may nakaligtaan tayo. So let's check. From Sir Monsieur, what? Is there a new digital creative link for this session? For this one, Sir Monsieur, kasi dati we all also had a Revit. So, previous topic natin is a Revit structural. So, sa digital creatives din yon. But for this, well, let me show you. Same link ng digital creatives, but different course. So, ayan. Promote na natin yung digital creatives natin. Yan. So, as I said, we have Adobe courses, soft skills, and technical. Under technical, we have, wait. Yeah. So, ayan. We have lessons here. Others can be tawag na to? Bibili, and others are free. May mga free courses din tayo dito. So, going down, meron tayo Adobe courses here. And technical courses are here. So, let's click. Ayan. So, we have different dito. Many. So, kung gusto nyong aralin, may mga free dyan. You can visit. So you just have to enroll here in our digital creatives learning LMS. So simply search nyo sa search engine education.digitalcreativeslearning.com. So patulong na lang any of our tech team to please paste the link education.digitalcreativeslearning para makita ng ating mga viewers. So, the link will be posted in the comment section. Okay.
So to add with that, is still a part. Is it a part of the structural? Actually, it's a part of architectural, structural, and other MEP elements. Yung etong Revit family. So because if from the past we have lectures from Autodesk structural, Revit structure, Revit MEP, Revit architecture. So all of that, if you want some detailed part, ito yung part ng detail we're in. We are dealing in depth with the families. So to explain further the families, it is siguro it's a sabi ko it's an element that binds the Revit all together. So all of the Revit elements, all of the parts of the Revit are mostly working on the family and sub-family level. So lahat ng yan will dwell deeply on creating families. Kaya yes, it's a part. Kaya if you want to dig deeper sa Revit, I suggest you study creating families kasi lahat yun will will be dealt deeply pag inaral mo na yung mga families mo.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much, Sir Hanson. So we have another question from here. Oops. Yeah. Sir Derek, you can read the question for Sir Hanson.
From Oliver Labitan, question: is there a conversion from 3D model shape into family?
Okay, conversion 3D model shape in the family. Um, you can insert shapes sa Revit. For example, sinabi ko kanina, if you can click the insert and you have the available files in here, such as DWG, pwedeng 3D drawings, DXF drawings, DGN, SAT file, SketchUp file, which you can, sabihin nga, may mga 3D warehouse, di ba? Mga 3D SketchUp files, you can insert that file in here, even the Rhino 3DM file. So all of this can be inserted on this family if you are like, if you want to create a family for cars, for furnitures, for trees, you can insert those, provided that, yeah, um, mas mainam na i-insert mo siya using this insert tool, and then it will create another Revit family for that instance. And advice ko, syempre, do not insert much yung mga detailed, kasi it will affect your file if you're using some sobrang bigat na models. But to answer that, yes, you can insert 3D models dito sa family to, and then save it, and then insert it on your project. Yun po yung sagot doon.
All right. He has a follow-up question, Sir Hanson, from Oliver. During 3D modeling of elements, does it refer always to family or no?
Um, sorry, yes and no. Well, the family kasi na ano mo siya, na parang ni-organize mo in such a catalog, and it will not it will have your library clean if you are putting it on a family, kasi nagkakaroon siya ng bilang or function once you inserted it on family, which is ideal for a Revit user, na maging family siya. Kumbaga parang hindi siya ma-outplace na if you have the drawing and then you inserted a CAD file. So the CAD file doesn't do anything good if you insert the CAD file or a 3D CAD model, para ma-copy siya doon. So mas maiging create a family first and then insert that CAD file on the family. For example, you have a 3D sofa. Yes, you can insert directly a CAD file on your Revit project. Kumbaga parang if I have still okay. If I have this, diba? And then I can have those I can import CAD file derecho from CAD and not a Revit file. Pero magiging CAD file lang siya. I mean, babasahin siya as a CAD file, but um, you cannot categorize that. You can only see it. It's like you just insert it there. But if you have a you have a furniture, you can categorize this as a furniture. So that will help you identify, filter, and change, or even do some types and parametric on that particular file. Maybe this file came from a ano edit ko lang yung family. Let's see what this came from. Maybe it's a generic 3D model pa rin, but some other file kasi, some other yung mga shapes na hindi kaya ni Revit, sometimes it came from a different software na in-insert. So this is still from Revit. So most of that siguro is Revit. Na in-insert using some third-party plugin, third-party 3D CAD uh, file or geometry. Tapos in-insert siya as a family. Ganon. So mas advisable na it would be converted into a Revit family muna, just to have those identity.
May follow-up question po.
Yeah.
Last, how about
Okay.
elements created in the mode with no host or no properties, with categories, how it works?
Indeed, like this is not hosted. When we say it's hosted, it's referring to something that is it will stick into. Usually, this its reference. The driving, kumbaga, the driving, like it's an insertion point. Whenever you put something, you have to have such insertion point wherein it is placed on such like a plane, a host, or a level. So in yung tatlong yon. So as we can see here in my, is it still sharing? Okay. As it is here, so we can see this level or this box that we created. It is the insertion or the constraint or the base of this is it doesn't host to anything. It's not hosted to anything, but it is the reference is always on the reference level. Kaya pag ini-insert ko siya, once I inserted this into a project, it means it will be looking for it will be looking for the level to which it will be inserted. So naghahanap siya ng ano, will not look for anything else, but kahit nakalutang siya, it will be hosted or it will be referenced to a certain level. So some other model are referenced to hindi sa level but into a certain object, like maybe one example for this siguro this sink. I think it's hosted on a certain, yan, kumbaga parang pag ginawa ko siya, I will find a similar. It will find, kumbaga, yan, papansin niyo, it's not, wala siyang ina-associate, but it will look for a certain vertical face or face. If I click this, so maghahanap siya ng face. Maghahanap siya ng anything na pag ibabaw niya or a surface. Maghahanap siya ng surface para doon siya. And then once na-detect niya yung surface na yon na pwede siyang mag-insert, papatong siya doon. Unlike nung sa ginawa natin, naghahanap siya ng reference plane. So that's the reference plane. But this is hosted on a face of something like this this table, for example, or this tabletop, countertop. So ganon. So kung ikaw naman ay electrical, yung mga switches mo are hosted on a wall. So that's how it works whenever there's a host on such object. Ganon siya. Ganon siya ganon siya mag-work. Ayun.
Another question po, sir.
Sige.
Can we apply also these parameters in making families for roof rafters?
So there's a floor, face, ceiling, and wall host. Kumbaga, if I can find something na ano, roof rafter, yes, it can be. Um, Kumbaga pwede namang yung pinaka roof rafter mo, the the surface itself can be that host. Kumbaga it will be placed on a face of that roof rafter. So if it is if this nakaslant na ganyan, whenever he find um, that surface, it can be put on that. So it's possible.
Yes. Well, so now we witness how the Revit works, but it's just the beginning. We also have two sessions tomorrow, same time, and on November 4th.
Mhm.
Revit is truly a fun and creative app. So it seems easy to share Psycho because she's just chill, but it needs a lot of effort and practice to handle. Thank you very much for wonderful, informative, and detailed presentation, sir.
Thank you. And save
Yes.
all your file, and we will be using the same file tomorrow.
So thank you po so much for the effort to share and discuss these kinds of knowledge po with us, sir. I hope you enjoyed this online event in which you rolled as instructor. It's my pleasure po to meet you and read your profile full of experiences, achievements, and certification. Thank you po, sir.
Thank
For more
you then.
announcement, yes. For more announcement, I would like to call Miss Barella po.
Ayun. So, 'di ba? So, once more, you can go back to our YouTube channel for the replay of this one. So, we will be posting also the condensed version of this one. And yon. So please stay. I know you have learned a lot for this session, but tomorrow and on November 4, we still have more with Sir Hanson. Okay? And the last word, Sir
Before we end po,
Hanson. Before we end, last word from you.
Oh, last word. Okay, just continue to learn and also din ako, connect nyo rin ako sa inyong LinkedIn. My name is Hanson Psycho. Just look for that. I think nasa LinkedIn ata ako dito ko sa LinkedIn ko. So, in lang. See you all tomorrow.
Yes.
yes.
So, thank you so much. Just as what I have said, thank you so much, Sir Hanson. Thank you so much, Sir Jeric, and all of our participants who joined us today. So, I hope marami tayong natutunan for today, and still meron pa tayong more for tomorrow and on November 4. So, stay tuned and join us again for tomorrow and for the next sessions. Bye.
Bye.
Bye po everyone.